setting crystal clear rules boosts your child's development. Setting crystal clear rules for your child is very important. Now, the world is far more scary and complicated than it was when you were a child as a parent. As a result, it is very imperative that you set adequate but fair boundaries with your child. It is very important in your parenting responsibilities. Children must make difficult decisions every day, and if you don't have clear, firm boundaries set, they may not make the wisest choice. Now, when you set limits, you teach these limits you set, teach children proper restraint in social and individual activities, and provide children with necessary structure and security to assist in healthy development. Now, when you set limits, you are providing your child with guardians before they even have an opportunity to get into trouble. That makes them more successful with everyday life. So before the opportunity or the situation presents itself, the limits you've already set has already taught the child which step to take and which step not to take. But a child's age and developmental level also need to be considered when you're setting limits. All children have a need for independence and individualization. That is sure. But however, they need structure, they need security, they need parental involvement. You can't just leave your children to themselves. They need your involvement, they need your security, they need you to put structure in place. It goes without saying that the needs of a 2-year-old vary greatly from that of a teenager. A toddler has a very strong desire to explore, to investigate, but that this is how a toddler wants to behave. This is how a toddler has been wired to behave. So what do? You have to put parameters in place to ensure the safety of that toddler while he's exploring. That's why you have to safe-proof your home. For instance, you have a crawling child. It's imperative that you have a guardrail on your staircase. It's imperative that you have your sockets covered because of the state that child is in, because that child is crawling at the moment. So you have to put certain parameters in place in order for the child to be free to explore. Now, teenagers, they need to be able to be an individual. They need to be able to be independent, but with strong parental guidance and influence, they are more likely to make smart choices in difficult situations. So in as much as these teenagers want to be independent, there is a structure in place, there is a guidance in place that will influence the kind of decisions they end up making. And then limits should be discussed and set prior to the situation. You should call your children, you should discuss these limits with them, you should discuss the red flags with them. This is a no-go area, this and this is what you shouldn't do, because when these situations arise, especially situations that were not planned, your teenager or your child already knows what to do. Now, a teenager who breaks curfew may have the privilege of going out with friends revoked until they learn to respect the rules. So you tell your child, be back home at 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. and the child gets back home at 11 p.m. Now you have to revoke that freedom, the freedom that, okay, you can go out with your friends. You have to revoke it because the child broke the curfew. So that is setting limits. That is creating boundaries. So the child is not going to repeat that action next time. A child who misbehaves while playing with a friend may need to be separated from the fun until they learn to properly behave. What am I saying? Children are playing and your child is just, he keeps doing what he's not supposed to do. He keeps hitting, or he keeps disrupting the play, by being aggressive. What you can do is that you can remove that child from the play area and let him calm down. Let him go somewhere else to calm down. And you're going to tell the child that he's not going to go back to the play area until he calms down. That is setting limits. You are letting the child know that he cannot just get away with any behavior that is not right, and that there is a consequence for every rule that is broken. Now, children respond in a positive manner in an environment where they know that, okay, this is what is expected of them. Children will behave in a more positive manner that way, because they already know that, oh, in my home, in school, in class, this is what is expected of me. Once I don't do this, this is what happens. So children, they respond better in such environment. That is why you should work towards creating that structure, creating those boundaries and setting those limits in your home. Now, a child will be more respectful towards rules, and the child will be more willing to abide by them if rules are clear and consistent. Do not let your rules be do not let them be complicated. Let them be simple. Let them be short and be consistent. Additionally, it's crucial that once a limit is set, everyone should stick to it. Once a limit is set, don't say, okay, this member of the household did not know that, oh, this is what obtains. No, once a limit is set, everyone should comply. For instance, let's say as a family, okay, everyone, yourself, your spouse, and your other children, they are complying, but then probably someone comes in to live with you. You have to sensitize the person about the limits that have been set in that home, so that the person can also work towards it and also abide by it. Because children learn by example. They model any action they see, so that you are not doing one thing and the person living with you is doing something else to undermine the result you are trying to achieve in the life of your child. So a child is less likely to try and manipulate a caregiver or anybody living in your home, because the child knows that, oh, everybody is on the same page when it comes to this set of limits. So remember that you are the one that sets the limits, and you are the one that lays down the law. There is no need to argue with your child. Just be firm and consistent, and don't forget to be kind. And I tell you, you are going to have zero challenges when it comes to your child complying to rules.